What is up? You guys are watching the first ever video recorded Juicebox Heroes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, PK. Please make sure you follow us on Facebook, like us, interact with us, ask us some questions. We're always checking there. But welcome to the first ever video recorded podcast. Man, we're so pumped, so excited. I'm joined as always with the man on the screen, Chris. We all know him as the Dubon Leader fan club president. And Chris, what do you think, man? How's the week been?
Uh, Not very good. Not very good at all. I mean, luckily we were able to salvage a victory yesterday,
Yeah, I knew
but
that.
it these last two series has been essentially the same story of the entire season.
Oh yeah,
Either can't hit with runners in scoring position, or you get a lead and the bullpen blows it.
yeah.
I mean, at this point, I don't even really know. I mean, it's just pretty much you're crossing your fingers. Hopefully today's the day. And then by the fourth inning, you're like, well, maybe tomorrow's the day. I don't know. So
Look, in the Yankee series, it was really like the bottom half of the first inning or second inning where I was like, well, I guess this isn't the day. Because Tucker
yeah,
leads off, puts us on the board with two solo shots the first two games of the series. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. All right, let's get a little bit of runs. And then Arrighetti goes out and gives up two in the bottom half of the first. And I think there was three the night before, right, in the first inning. And it's like, okay, it's going to be one of those. And then we all know what ended up happening where, the score in Wednesday night's game was 9-4, I believe was the final. And that was just the game wasn't even close as the score was. And neither was the first,
no,
so yeah, cool. We put up, three more runs in the eighth inning. Pena hits a bomb, a nice solo to make it 8-3 or something like that. And so it's like, cool. But you went 6 innings that you didn't even hit the ball, get a hit. Y'all decided you started to hit when you got into the bullpen. So what about those other 6 innings where we're not doing anything at all?
yeah, no. What slowly become the Astros are slowly becoming the garbage time
Oh yeah,
champions.
big time.
So it's like, yeah, the offense kicks in after we're down 9-1, eight to
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, just like in football, it's like you look at the score and it's like, oh wow, they only lost 34-27, and
Yeah.
then they look, and then it's like, oh well, they were down 34 to
It's like they
10
scored
going
21
into
in
the
the fourth
fourth quarter.
quarter.
Yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, they're definitely the garbage time champions right now. I mean, and honestly, uh, driving to work yesterday morning, like I was seriously about to go on this hellacious rant, but they won yesterday, so I guess we'll postpone it for. And again, who was the man of the hour? Jon
Jon
Singleton.
freaking
That
Singleton.
that moonshot that he hit off of Stroman.
Dude, four
I
four
just don't
forty
know.
nine, 450, something like that.
Yeah, I hit the
The
third
fa-
deck.
the facade of the third deck.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know how many times I have to tell you guys. Now, granted, you can't expect this guy to hit 360,
Right.
280. I mean, but he has been pretty much a breath of fresh air at first base. And you saw that ball that I don't remember what inning it was, but that double play where he had to scoop it out of I forgot who threw it. I think it was it Bregman? Oh no, it was
It was
Hader. It was
Hader.
a ball hit to
Yes, it was
Hader,
late in the game.
and Hader threw a 97 mile an hour sinker
In the
to the
dirt.
first
Yeah.
the first base. Yeah, and he scooped it
And you
out.
think about
So
if Singleton doesn't make that dig, now you've got runners on first and second, no outs, right? Like
yeah,
we're in a bind. Now you're in a high stress situation with the pitcher, but he's a vacuum down there. I mean, like earlier in the game, Soto hit a BB down to first base and he went
yeah,
backhand, scooped it. Like the only mistake, air quotes, mistake he made was when Ronell threw him he tried to soft toss him a ball that was way off the bag that should have been an out, which ends up punishing you because Volpe hits a 2-run shot the next pitch. So,
yeah. But I think that was more on
oh,
Blanco than it was
absolutely,
Singleton.
absolutely. There's not,
I
there's nothing
mean,
you can do, you know.
yeah. I mean, my 6-year-olds know how to underhand to the first
Yeah,
baseman.
it's pretty fundamental. I was talking to a
Yeah,
guy last night at my daughter's softball practice, and I was telling him because so now I've got like a new bestie softball dad, right? We always sit on the
no,
sideline, lean up the fence, and we talk about the Astros. And so I was telling him that like this lineup that was put out on the field yesterday, this is the lineup that we need to be seeing like every day. These are the players. Quit the rotating of Myers. Leave Dubon in. Let Loperfido out in the field. The dude had, I think, 3 hits, either 2 or 3 hits, but he was on base like 3 times. Loperfido was, right? And
Um,
so,
yeah, I think so. I know he hit an absolute bleeder. Like there was one ball that he hit that if this shortstop was playing in the position he was supposed to play
yeah,
in, he would have been out, but he got an infield single. But yeah, another thing I noticed is like what happened the first 2 games with not playing Loperfido.
right,
I mean, if he's not going to play every day, send his ass
right.
down. I mean, because right now, how is he going to build towards better at
Mm-hmm.
bats, stuff like that? If he's playing, I mean, because he played Sunday, or what was it? There was one game he came in as a pinch hitter, went over 1, and then he didn't play at all. And he played Sunday's game,
Yeah, but he didn't play
but
Tuesday or Wednesday.
he didn't play Tuesday or Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like at that point, why, why?
And another thing too is I read something on Twitter today where they were showing the ERAs for our air quotes big three: JV, Fromber, and
The,
what's his name,
the,
Javier. Okay, they showed the
yeah,
ERAs when Diaz is the actual catcher and when he's only DHing. So the stat was that those 3 pitchers when Diaz is the catcher is 2.06. Okay, for those 3 guys. When Caratini's catching, Diaz is DHing, the ERA for those 3 guys doubles. It's like 4.3. So, like, I understand you want to give this guy days off, but he's a young guy, man. Like, put his ass behind the dish like every day.
yeah,
Especially, at least when those 3 guys are on there. If you're an analytical team and you're going by the numbers, look at what the numbers are telling you. This guy needs to be behind the plate for these 3 guys. Their ERAs are lower. I mean, and Diaz, he hit a BB yesterday too. I think it was 103 off the bat, got him a double. But then the same thing that he's been doing here, where we get runners in scoring position, and he comes up, pees down his leg. Like we had Pena at third base with 0 outs, and
oh,
and we
yeah.
couldn't even Bregman did what Bregman does.
You know,
Diaz did his thing, and Singleton struck out. But we're like, we needed an extra run. Like we needed that
yeah,
run, any run.
yeah. When Bregman came up, I was listening to the game, and it's like Bregman's up, and he hits it. I'm like, oh, and then and it's a pop up to the short. So I
Yeah,
just started laughing because it's like at this point it's becoming comical. I mean, when does it get to the point where you sit Bregman down for a couple days? I'm not saying bench him,
right.
but put Dubon at third, give him a couple days to kind of reset himself, and then put him back into the lineup. I mean,
Well, look, his 2 hits yesterday, only one of them was an actual solid contact. His first hit was a capper, like it's a
yeah,
cue ball, and the only reason that it got through the second base hole was because second base was shaded a little bit towards second, or second base. Yes, he was shaded more up the middle, but it was a capper. It wasn't like he mashed it. Now his eighth inning hit, I think is what he got. Like it was an actual hard ground ball through the left side, like a good hit, right? But
yeah,
he still looks completely lost, and it looks like he's just defeated when he gets up to the plate. Like he knows he's slumping. Like he knows he's slumping. Obviously, we all do. But he looks defeated when he gets up there. Like holy shit! Like I'm in this situation again, and like I know I'm not. I know I'm not hitting good. So now he's probably pushing to do it. Therefore, you're swinging at bullshit pitches, and you're dubbed the infield pop up king.
yeah. Some again, you know, nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, Alex, you know that we know that you know that we know that you know,
You know that we know. Yeah.
yeah, that you're in a bit of a slump right now. So what we want you to do is take the next couple of days off. We're not going to bench you. Maybe come in, get some extra BP, stuff like that. Watch some extra tape. You know, and something like that to where again, reset the mindset. Reset, and then you know after those couple of games, put him back in, and then see what happens. And if he still struggles, then maybe a Brady will have
An
some
awakening,
companionship.
an
Yeah,
awakening in
maybe
West Palm
a
Beach.
Brady will have some companionship in West Palm Beach.
Well, look, they
Um,
sent Uncle Mike out there. They sent Uncle Mike out
oh,
there to West Palm Beach I don't know, talk to him, I guess, tell him what to fucking do. Hey, you should have hit that.
Yeah,
You should have hit that
yeah,
85-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle.
yeah.
So Uncle Mike's supposed to report back his findings, but here's the thing that I feel like when that type of stuff happens is like, what is Uncle Mike going to do? Come back and say, "Oh, yo, this guy is terrible. Like, y'all need to cut his ass." Like, he's not going to say
Well,
that because he's a player. Brady's a player, right? Like, they're going to have each other's back. Like, oh, he's probably going to say, "Oh man, he's
yeah,
close. He's close. He looks really good in the box. He's making good contact."
yeah,
He's not. I just
yeah.
don't think he's going to come back and throw him under the bus.
What did they say? They sent him down there to work on his quick twitch muscle, right?
So I'm glad that you brought that
It
up.
was
I'm
something like
glad you
that.
brought that up because I was listening to the radio earlier this week, and they played a clip of Dana Brown, his reasoning behind why why Abreu has been sucking, and this came out of the GM's mouth that Abreu is too strong. He lifted too much weights, and he's too big, and that's why his bat speed. That's why his bat speed is suffering because he's too strong and he's not utilizing the quick twitch muscles like he should be. And I wish I could have recorded what the radio said because they were doing exactly what you're doing in the screen, except audibleizing it also. But it's like you got to come up with something better than that. Like, give me something better than like this guy is not that big. He ain't like a Dallas big, right? So he's not that strong. Even in Mexico City, when he hit one deep, it still wasn't deep, and that was because of altitude. So don't give me the he's too strong thing.
He's been Dana's been on a tear of
Oh, dude.
terrible takes. I mean, here's the reason why Jose Abreu's down in West Palm Beach. Because he sucks
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it sucks. The man's what, 37, 38, right? And like we discussed a couple episodes ago, the only person that's undefeated is Father
All
Time.
day, every day.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe, his body's breaking down because it seems like every time they talk about him, something's wrong with him. It's his back, his knee. Okay, well, maybe that's Father Time telling you it's time,
Yeah. Wrap
right?
this thing up, man.
You know, and then you have Dana Brown going out, and it's just sometimes they make it tough with the stuff they say. So he Dana Brown goes on the MLB network,
Yeah.
and they're asking him, "Hey, with the way the season's going, obviously this is not what the Astros wanted to happen. It's not what us as fans wanted to happen.
Right.
Is there a chance that you guys become sellers at the trade deadline?" And he tells them, "Well, no, that's not even in our vocabulary because his team is too good."
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw that, I just turned it off and walked off and go do
Okay,
something
but did you hear what he
because
referenced as his reason behind that? Because I read that too. I saw that too.
no, once he said that, I turned it off. I was like, "This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my
So
life."
he used the Braves. What year did they win the World
What?
Series? When they beat us? What was that?
Oh,
19?
2019?
19?
That was 19.
So
Yeah.
he used
No, 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 no. That was 21.
Okay, so he used the Braves that year where he was like, "Hey, when I was in Atlanta, we were 10 games back in June, and then we go on a run and we end up winning the World Series, right?" So after you turned it off, he used that as an example of what can happen. Now look, man, it can happen.
Yes, it
We've
can
been saying
happen.
that the whole
However,
every freaking episode. It can happen.
yes, it can happen. However, you're talking about that Atlanta Braves team was just wrapping up their rebuild,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So the difference between Atlanta's what happened in 2021 is that they lost really one guy,
mhm,
and that was Ronald Acuna.
yeah,
So what they did was like the Moneyball approach. How do we, instead of replacing him one for one,
yeah,
they replaced him with three different outfielders.
yeah.
Again, they still had a very good pitching
It
rotation.
was dirty.
They had a dominant bullpen. Their lineup outside of Acuna, they still had Freddie Freeman, Marcelo Zuna when he was still, worth
Dance.
something. Uh,
What's Swanson?
they had Swanson. They
That's
had Ozzy Albies.
Solaire.
This was not, yeah. They brought in Soler. This was not a team that was, and again, you could say the same thing. Well, the Astros have
Yeah,
Altuve. They have Jordan, but the bullpen right now is hit or miss. Right. The This team still can't hit with runners in scoring position,
hmm
regardless. I mean, there's only really two guys I'm seeing hit with runners in scoring position, and that's Dubon
That's
and
right. That's right.
every now and then somebody else.
Yeah.
And
Did that hurt? Did
but
that
the
hurt when you
difference
say
is
that? Did it hurt when you said that?
a little bit, a
Okay.
little bit. I'm telling you, that's how bad this team's been. That I have to like literally pull for Dubon to get more playing
That's
time.
right. No, you have to
So
though. But to
I,
go back to
I mean,
what we were saying, like Dubon Pena,
yeah,
like
and
really,
if somebody's on first, I can every now and then we can count on Singleton hitting a 2-run bomb
yeah, or strikeout. But yes,
or
at least
or get pitch clock
or get a
violation
pitch clock
strike.
to strike out. God, it's like, look, man, I'm trying to like you, dude. Can you not get called out standing there, like
Yeah,
not
and
even
I'm
in the
sitting here
box?
like, you're not helping my case.
Yeah,
I was like, I've been sitting here taking bullets for you for the last month and a
right. And
half.
here you
You're
are,
not helping me
you
out.
are not getting in the box. Oh man, but no, look, dude. Like I said, going back to yesterday's game, like the lineup that was there yesterday, and not because, yes, because we won. Part of it's because we won, right? But overall, like that lineup seemed to be putting something together offensively. Now, granted, they still didn't do the runners in score position. I know Pena got a single that scored Jordan early in the game. I think that was the fourth run of the game. I believe it
Yes.
was. So then you had 2-run home run by Singleton, so that was 3, and then you had the solo by Jordan. So we plated one runner in scoring position yesterday, right? But like leave that lineup the way it is. Leave those group of guys in there. Quit platooning your outfielders and just see what can happen. At least get like I would say give it the Detroit series. Let it go. Let it go 4 games, or 4 games total, right, including the one from
Yeah.
yesterday, and see what we can put together. We've got our 3 studs, lined up to pitch this Detroit thing. Like at some point, we got everything it has to come together because if it doesn't, when you get to that 50-game mark, that's when you really know what your team is. And we're getting awfully close to being 50 games into this season to where it's kind of what it is. I mean, like Abreu yesterday pitched an inning and a third, 4 outs,
Yeah.
3 of them strikeouts. Presley comes in, and I think he faced 4 batters, and all 4 batters went to a 2-0 count. All of them. They started off 2-0, and didn't look sharp. Hader had to come in and, you know, do his thing. But look, even Hader, I got nervous with Hader, to be honest with you. Like, I was, just like, for the love of God, please, can we just salvage a freaking win here, please? Like, Jesus.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, how else are you going to build chemistry within that lineup
Mhm.
if you're continuously, swapping things out? I mean, so, but yeah. I mean, but again, like, I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, they've dug themselves a pretty good size hole, and again, they haven't shown us anything to where
Not consistently.
we can sit here and be like, oh, this is going to be a good bounce back Detroit series. And then, I mean, because on paper, I mean, you've got 3 against Detroit, and then you get a day off. Then you got 4 against Oakland.
Who it
I
really
mean,
right now
so
is not really Oakland. Oakland. Like, they're actually playing
yeah,
pretty freaking good, man.
yeah. I mean, and you look at the pitchers that they're facing this weekend. Like, Detroit's pitchers, all of them are pitching like out of their minds right now.
Yeah.
But it's just like I'm sitting here thinking all the time. I'm like, what is it going to take? What is it going to take? You know, and then to go back to when we were talking about Dana Brown and his 2021 Braves.
Hmm.
Yeah, the difference is they had a minor league system.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been telling people. It's like, you look at guys like Arrighetti, right? Everybody's, oh, Arrighetti sucks now. It's like, well, I mean, let's be real, right? Arrighetti is very sexy to us Astros fans,
Right.
right? He's our number one pitching prospect. But if you put him in any other of the top 15 minor league systems, he's probably their 14th,
Hmm.
best
Yeah.
prospect. Low Profito. Granted, time will tell with him. He could be a diamond in the rough. I mean, he's got to play more, obviously, but to us, very sexy. He's mashing. You put him in, any other, decent minor league system,
He's,
he's probably their sixth or
yeah, I
seventh.
was gonna say eighth, but yeah.
So, but like I said, I mean, like, so it's like we have like these fogged glasses outlook on these guys, thinking they're going to come in and just mow people
Mm-hmm.
down, and Loperfido's going to come in and single handedly save the season. When like again, we have nothing to draw from. There's one more guy that I think could be on his way up soon, but I mean, and again, this goes to all the moron Dodgers fans, all pretty much every moron fan outside of the city of Houston
Yeah.
that, clamored, oh, they didn't get punished. I mean, you're seeing the punishment right here.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm not going to go over the picks we could have had, but
No, because that hurts.
you're seeing the punishment. We're sitting here literally, granted Bregman's making the decision a lot easier, but we're thinking, if this continues to go off the rails like it has been, I mean, and we're at a pretty decent sample size. I mean, now you're looking at guys, I wish I was on whatever Dana Brown's smoking,
Oh yeah,
but
some good stuff.
you should already be starting working on plans A, B, and C.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing that I've seen so far that tells me these next two series coming out of this Yankee series that says that we're going to go 6-1 or 5-2.
What
There's not.
what I was just thinking about with since you brought the prospects and all that stuff. So with Correa was a top pick, or like he was like, hey, he's not going to be down very long, right? Bregman was the same way, not going to be down very long. Tucker, he was the same thing. But outside of those three guys, like, can you think of one player where we've been like, okay, like this has ended up turning into a prospect? Like, I honestly can't. I can't think of
What do you mean?
outside of someone like Tucker and outside of someone like Correa where they were drafted high. You know,
Hmm.
like I don't know, like a mid first rounder, second rounder guy. Like you have the shoe ins that like, hey, we got this top prospect is Kyle Tucker, right? Like we're not getting rid of
Yeah.
him. It doesn't matter if we if we want Bryce Harper or whatever, you're not getting Tucker. Like I've not known the Astros to have a super solid prospect pipeline. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
Even
that's
when we sucked, we missed. We missed on prospects. We drafted guys like what's that lefty Brady
Brady Aiken.
Aiken,
Don't forget Mark Appel.
Mark
Mark
Appel,
Appel. We,
Forrest
we took
Whitley.
Appel. Yeah. I
And
mean,
listen, it's a freaking crapshoot. It's just like with any draft of any amateur player, it's a freaking crapshoot. Like there's no 100% guarantee this guy's gonna turn into what you think he is as a high schooler or college player. And I understand that, but I specifically remember the Appel and the Aiken, like these guys just nothing. Jordan Lyles
yeah.
too, wasn't Jordan Lyles? Or was he a
Well,
trade?
Jordan
Was he a
Lyles.
trade that we got for him? I forget.
No, I think we drafted him, but the thing with Jordan Lyles was we called him up way,
Yeah.
way too early, and we did too much damage to him by calling him up too early. But yeah, there really hasn't been anybody because once we built that core, our minor league system was like, hey, get them to where people like them,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're gonna trade them for pieces at the deadline.
Yeah.
You know, the most I was kind of thinking the most hype, that anybody's had since Bregman and Correa, and I think Springer too. Springer
Oh
had a lot
yeah,
of hype.
Spria. Hello. Yeah.
Um, was Loperfido, but I think that was just because Abreu had done so terrible
Mm-hmm.
that and the thing was, and the joke that was on all of us was that he didn't even get called up to play first base.
Right.
They put him in the outfield.
Yeah.
So I
We had a
mean,
catcher. We had a catcher that I think we traded to Arizona for in the Grinky deal. Um, it's not.
I don't think it was.
Was it?
You're talking about Seth Beer?
I can't remember his name. It's not the point. But anyways, yes, Loberfido comes up not even to play the first base because you had to play Singleton because you've got no other place to put him unless you get rid of him, right?
Yeah,
So, but like you said, going back to Arrighetti and Loberfido, like prospect wise, relative to any other club, like they're not sniffing the big leagues like they are like our guys are this year, right? And we were kind of forced. to bring these guys up now in a way because pitching wise, you didn't have anybody because we
Yeah,
sat on our freaking hands in the offseason, didn't do anything.
yeah,
And Loperfido, on top of him mashing in AAA, you wanted to bring some kind of spark up. That was, I'll guarantee you, that was part of the plan. See if he could make
yeah.
the transition from AAA to the bigs, or suck it in the bigs, bring the flash guy up. Let's see if he can replicate that in the big league. Cool, right? And like, yeah, it was like the first series, the first game. I mean, it was loud in there. I mean, it was loud on the TV and everything. And I looked at his stats before we came on. I didn't write him down, but he's doing good. He's still striking out. He has more strikeouts than walks, right? But yesterday's game, he put some ABs together. Man, was on base at least 3 times yesterday. It's like I think he's getting there. Eric Getty, each outing has seemed to get a little bit better, but these guys are up early. They're not even supposed to be here yet, right? They're not supposed to.
No, I mean, Loperfido, I mean, again, it's still early, but all of his hits are singles.
Yeah,
I mean, so
nothing, no power yet.
I mean, I want to see some doubles. I want to see something outside of. He did steal a base, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I mean, but again, I mean, the way I see it is, if Loperfido was such that, I mean, so to put it pretty plainly, so last year we traded our number one prospect in the Verlander deal,
Mm-hmm.
right? That prospect that we traded, our number one, became the Mets' number 7 prospect
Right. That
in their system.
yeah, that puts
So
it in perspective. Big time.
yeah, I mean, so and again, it's not just the punishment that we got, but when you're consistently contenders, you're basically ripping apart your farm system to get talent for the playoff push, right? So a lot of it goes hand in hand. Right now it's because it's 50%. We didn't have those 2 draft picks
Mm-hmm.
in the 2 rounds those 2 years, and it's because we've been so damn good the last 7 years that whatever we have our core, we'll build around the core. And really, honestly, like I feel like the Loperfido, they were just trying to catch lightning in a bottle. Like they got lucky with Pena.
Yeah,
I mean, that was pretty lucky.
pretty lucky.
He was another guy that was nowhere on the radar,
Yeah,
and they were just like, "Oh, hey, you're our starting shortstop.
yeah,
Get ready to do some HEB
yeah.
commercials."
That's right.
So that's pretty much
El
what happened.
Taqueria Randas.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, Arrighetti, that was just desperation because they had nobody
Yeah,
else, right? I mean, you look at now, JP France is hurt,
he's out
so
for a minute though.
yeah,
Like he's
he's
out
gonna be out for a little
for a
while.
minute, and
So
that seemed to come out of
now,
nowhere. To be honest with you,
yeah, I mean, which tells me that he was probably hurt at the beginning of the season and
right?
decided to pitch through it,
And tried to.
right?
Yeah.
So now, God forbid, God forbid, God forbid, another pitcher goes down. Who are you going to call up from AAA? Nobody,
No.
right? You know, and again, and that's another thing that Dana Brown was talking about. He's like, yeah, we had no idea all these guys were going to get hurt. And again, it's like,
It's
yeah, you
like
knew you
no
were down at least
shit.
2 guys last year, and then halfway through spring training, you knew you're going to be down another 2 starting pitchers.
Yeah.
So, pay the 25 for Jordan Montgomery, right? And get some depth. But that's what happens. That's what happens. You don't get the guys that you get, and you have guys like Blair Henley starting a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spencer Arrighetti, which I mean personally, I'm not saying I don't want to tear the kid down, but I don't think he was ready.
No.
And then they call him up and they give him to the freaking Braves.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the show.
Yeah, so he's pitching 5 games now. 3 of those 5 games have been Braves, Rangers, Yankees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, so it's like, good God, man. I mean,
Set him up for a little bit of success.
I mean,
Easy
yeah, I
money.
mean, if this guy becomes anything, further down the line, I mean, you got to tip your hat to him because that dude's been fed to the
Yeah.
wolves.
I guess I
But
saw a stat on. I just saw another stat about the Astros' strength of schedule so far. So far, they lead the majors in the most games against teams with a 500 record or above, like 31 games so far they've played against, teams that are, good. I mean, they've got the number one, however you want to say it, right? Opponent strength of schedule, I guess, however you want to say it.
yeah,
Um, which doesn't excuse the wins and losses because you were expecting to be one of those teams to be playing at 500 or above already, right? But when you
yeah,
have all the injuries and the lack of oh man, the lack of
Depth.
depth, right? That and like you weren't anticipating any potential injuries, right? Or what
You should always be potential.
ev-
You should always be
especially right now in the state of what baseball is, and especially the state of baseball with
pitchers.
pitchers. Look at all the pitchers that are
Yeah.
done for the year with elbows, right?
Yeah.
All the time. So the fact that there was not a plan in place for, hey, let's go get this guy, let's go, yada yada yada. Like this is what happens when you don't prepare. This is what happens.
Yeah.
This is what happens. And now we're in this freaking hole that we're, a month and a half into the season, and we're like, we're celebrating, or I am, one win out of a 3-game series. Because I'm like, yes, we didn't get swept, right? Like
Yeah.
that's where we're at right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, man. I mean, you know, you just try to think of like, would this happen? Would this work? I mean, then you start to think you go down that deep hole where it's like, well, maybe this team is just not that good
Right.
anymore, right? I mean, everybody's a year older, right? I mean, we can't we can't expect JV with his what is he 41
Yeah.
to go out there and throw 7 innings every single time. I'm not saying that he still can't be a good, respectable pitcher, but I mean, again, Fromber, what is Fromber back? I don't know. Javier, how is he going to look when he bounces back from injury? As of right now, I don't want to see Hunter Brown anywhere near that starting rotation.
Mm-mm. You can't trust
Put
him.
him in the bullpen.
Yeah.
No. Um, and that's been a massive flop too. I mean, so you know, everybody, those 2 games he pitched in 2022 was like, this is the next JV,
Yeah.
and he looked like shit last season. And then he's completely come out here and done nothing,
Except get shelled.
to yeah. I mean, so eh, you know, the question is that does Crane have the balls to fire some people? Because Dana Brown talked about the Braves, and I'm sure people have talked about the Phillies, in 2022.
Diamondbacks
Yeah,
last year, all that shit.
the Phillies turned it around after they fired their head coach, or they fired their manager, and then the bench coach took over,
Yeah.
right? But again, I mean, the hitting coach, I mean,
Look,
this is not acceptable.
dude, I'm for Espada, Hill, Cintron, Snitker. There's the door.
All of them.
Send them.
Yeah,
Bring
yeah,
somebody new in, man. Someone like I understand you want to keep the culture of the clubhouse, and that was the whole thing when Espada did his press conference, like the culture and the culture and the culture. Cool, great, right? But when it's the same thing being preached over and over again, it eventually is going to fall on deaf ears, right? It's just the
yeah,
same thing. So, like, you bring in new, fresh meat, let them give a new idea, new approach, new whatever, and then you see what happens. I mean, Espada, like, I don't even know, man. Like, when I feel bad for the guy. I really do because if you're replacing a Hall of Fame coach, whether people like him or not, right? Like he is a Hall of Fame coach, whatever.
yeah,
So you're gonna get like those are big shoes to fill, no matter if he was likable or not. And when you essentially basically have the same fucking team, except for the pitchers that you let walk, which by the way, they're not doing very hot. This Maton's got like a 7 ERA.
Listen, don't you dare talk bad about Maton.
Look,
He did God's
he
work
did,
against the
he did,
Rangers.
he did, he
Okay,
did.
he gets a
He
pass.
does. I'm just saying though, his ERA is up there. Nair's I think is I don't know 3 something, which is that's good. And then that's not the point. You essentially are bringing back the whole team from last year, right? Essentially,
Yeah,
and so it really should just be, oh, okay, I'm going to run this lineup, I'm going to run this squad out every day, make a few changes, get some rest here, and like this thing should take off. I mean, I think that's what we all thought. I know I did. I mean,
yeah. I thought it would be a quick hey tag, you're in. All right,
yeah,
got it.
cool, got it. I'll just
And
keep
let it
up.
roll.
I'll just keep up, right? And obviously that's not it, but at some point soon, there's going to have to come a time where Crane's going to have to make a decision, and he's going to. And I think if you're going to fire one, you're going to get rid of all of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it goes to what you just said. The culture, the culture. What culture?
Yeah,
I mean, because right now, I don't. I mean, everybody talks about Maldonado. Maldonado was the true leader. Okay. So you're telling me none of these guys, JV, Altuve, really those two,
Mm-hmm.
they can't stand up and be like, listen, this is my team now. We got to get this shit together, right? The, the excuse of the culture, well, we need to change cultures because this culture ain't doing shit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Not consistently. So, that's why, again, I always got to mess with David at work.
Yeah.
Why not give
Oh
Trevor
my
Bauer a
God. Would
fly?
you stop with that?
Yep,
They're not going to
yep.
do it.
I'm
They're
I'm just
not going to
saying.
do it, dude.
I'm just saying. I don't want to hear anything negative because maybe something like that needs to happen to shake this
You're
team up.
probably right. Look, in all honesty, you're
You know,
probably right. And I
I'm.
told you last time, and I'm going to tell you again. They're not going to do it solely because of PR. That's it.
Who cares?
I
Who
know. I'm
cares?
just saying. They're not
What
going to.
PR? What bad PR are they going to get? They're not going to get any bad PR. Half the damn fans of the teams in the major leagues want their team to sign them.
And that's why he's
So
not going to be by anybody.
I
He's
mean,
blackballed, dude. It's not happening.
well, that's how you break the mold. I
I
mean,
do.
right
I
now, I
do
don't.
feel though,
I don't.
if there was any team to do it, I feel like Crane would desperately do it. Like do it out of
I mean,
desperation. I really do.
I don't know how much more desperate you can be right now. I
No,
mean,
I know.
literally, you've got JV, you've got you know Fromber, you've got Blanco. Thank God for Blanco. And then your last two spots are hammered dog shit
Hmm.
between Arrighetti and Hunter Brown.
Yeah.
That's it. Granted, one of them is going to get booted because Javier will come back.
Well, and
I
Urquidy
mean,
whenever he
but
comes back,
yeah, but I think he's still going to need a minor league
a few starts.
rehab assignment.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, and again, what is he going to look like when he comes back? So, again, it's like you go in with this approach is we're going to, think of it like this team is the Titanic, right?
it's not good.
Before before the iceberg,
That's not good at
before the
all.
I'm going to save the Titanic before it hits the iceberg. So you see, oh, we have a couple of leaks. Well, why don't we approach these leaks? There's a bigger problem. The problem is we'll put these two guys to fix the leaks, even though in the morning we'll have six guys available. We'll deal with that in the morning. Get the leaks taken care of. And then you don't hit the iceberg in this hypothetical situation.
It's good.
But then we wouldn't have had that fantastic movie back in the late 90s. But
And we,
that's
we,
what you
al- we
do.
also wouldn't have the it's been 87 year meme that
Yeah.
still lives on to
Yeah.
this day. So thank you for
Yes.
that.
So, but that's what I'm saying. So you address what you need right now. And then when the time comes, when you become that team that has so much pitching, you deal with that shit when the time comes. Then you flip, Urquidy, or you flip Hunter Brown. Granted, in this magical world, Hunter Brown doesn't have a 27 ERA, but you address the needs that you have right now,
Okay.
and you address them, and then you say, okay, well, we're getting Urquidy back. Okay, we'll let that shit play out, and then really July you're going to get Garcia and Glassarm back, and then you'll be like, we'll let that shit play out. We'll deal with that when the time comes, right? And then you just roll with it because no matter what, I mean, like some of these younger guys, even if Arrighetti was pitching pretty good, you send them down so that way you kind of lower his,
Right.
his
Yeah,
usage,
exactly.
right? And you have the depth to do that, or let's say you've been using the crap out of Taylor Scott, right? Send him down to AAA, not because of his poor performance, but because you don't want to overuse him, keep his arm fresh, you know. You do that if you have depth. If you do not have depth, then you have,
What we currently have.
Blair Henley. Yes, exactly. So you patch the holes as you need them, and then when you have the full workforce to work on the rest, you deal with that when the time comes.
Yeah.
So, and we did not do that at all.
No.
Right now, we're headed for the iceberg.
Yeah,
Right
it's not a good look.
now, granted, I'll be Jack, on the bow of the ship, being held out as we hit the iceberg. But
So
you
you're
know,
yelling right now, is what you're saying. You're saying
yeah,
iceberg, iceberg ahead, but no one's listening.
yeah. No one's listening.
Damn.
Nobody calls me. I have all the answers, but nobody calls
God
me.
damn, Dana Brown, dude. Somebody get that guy on the horn.
I'm telling you, man.
Hey,
I
but
mean,
speaking of the glass arm, he threw a bullpen and it's on video. And I went to go listen.
did he?
I went to go listen to it, and there's no fucking sound. So the first thing that came to my head was, "Oh, he ain't even popping the glove. That's why there's no sound." that's the
The only thing
that's
I
the first thing
saw
that
of
came to my
him,
mind.
the only thing I saw of him was that he was dressed like a barista or
Oh, for
something
the
like
opening of his
that. Because
coffee shop.
yeah, I'm like, man, I'm glad the Astros are funding your fucking coffee dreams. That's
Yeah, thank
fantastic.
God for that Ito
Yeah,
coffee shop you got. Like, why
yeah,
don't you fix your arm pitch
yeah,
or give us some of that
yeah.
85 million back?
Like, maybe him carrying that tray of coffee maybe is not the best of ideas, with that arm that's
Well,
continuously
well, what
hurting.
was that HEB commercial? There was one of them where he was picking up Bregman or Pena, and every time I saw that commercial, I'm like, "Can you please put the guy down before you tear your elbow?" It was like every time I saw that commercial, I'm like, "Please put him down, please.
Yeah, like stop it.
Stop picking stuff up."
It's like, you know how terrible it's going to be when you say I injured my arm picking up Bregman in an HEB
In a
commercial.
commercial, yeah,
Yeah, that's not going to win you any
it's not
votes.
even a cool story.
No, you're gonna have to lie and say like you fought a bear or something.
Something really
But then,
cool.
but then, like I kind of kind of looking at my colors. I don't think he's the kind of guy that would fight a bear.
Well,
I
he
think he
has a
would kind of.
man bun, so he's probably
That's
his camping's probably like at an Airbnb.
yeah, that's fair. Some
Yeah.
people have that struggle in life.
Oh man, good shit. But look,
So
hey,
man,
I wanted to talk really quickly about Ronell because he has been. You know how last year at the very beginning of this journey we're on with this podcast, we briefly discussed the end of last season and some highlights of the season, and one of the things that we talked about, at least that I brought up, was the fact that Hunter Brown was this hidden gem that we found right last year, and then what we were hoping he was going to be doing going into this year, yada yada yada. This year seems to be Ronell, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean,
I mean, JP France kind of last year too.
it
He kind of
was,
came out of.
it did. So I wrote so far 3-0 for Ronell,
I like it.
2.09 ERA,
I like that too.
36 Ks, 38 in the 2/3 innings pitched, .096 WHIP.
Mm,
This is a guy that was not even going to make the opening day roster. Made it because of injuries. And look what we
yeah,
freaking have. Like what I liked about yesterday's outing, right, is that he labored in some of those innings, right? And he was nearing 100 pitches. And I was like, oh, Espada's not going to let him get out of the fifth. Like, he's going to yank because he was getting close. And
yeah,
Espada sent his ass back out there. And I was like, hell yes. Like, send him out. Send him out. Let him get this quality start because I think he ended up getting it. Did he? Or he went 5 2/3. I think he got yanked.
yeah. Yeah, he got yanked. He walked somebody,
Yeah.
then they yanked him.
But the fact that he still sent him out, like I like that Espada sent him back out to let him go, like keep going. He ended up pitching over 100 pitches,
Yeah,
but he walked Soto twice, and the more that I watched that, I don't want to say a word I don't want to, but the more I watched that clown bat, like you have to give the props to the guy for the plate discipline that Soto has. Like
yeah.
he doesn't chase. Like he
No,
walked him twice yesterday, and I mean a couple of pitches in the second walk that he gave him. I wasn't even trying to be a homer, but it looked like a strike. I mean, it did. But like the dude doesn't swing unless it's in the zone. Like Soto's, and I think he only did the shuffle once that I saw, and which was cool because I can't stand that freaking shuffle. Like when he does that, I want our pitcher to throw at his head. Like do it again.
yeah.
I did
I
see
mean
I
that's
did
fair.
see something yesterday though on Twitter that after the second walk, Soto said something back to Diaz. I had some words. I would assume something along the lines of "You can't get me out" or "That I'm not going to chase." Some shit talking.
Yeah,
But of course, Diaz didn't say anything. Right? Like doesn't say anything back, and we're still missing that dog. We're still missing that. I'm not saying it looks to fight guy. We don't need looks. We don't need to have likes to fight guy on the team, but someone that's gonna, you kind of go what I'm
it'd
saying.
be a lot cooler if we
Well, it'd be a
did.
lot
It'd be a
cooler.
lot
It'd be a
cooler
lot
if we
cooler if we
did.
did. It'd be a lot cooler. But yeah, dude, Ronell, man, he has been such a freaking find. Like he's the only. I mean, JV, I trust. I mean, JV's outing on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah.
Like kind of an aberration. I mean, like he gave up a lot. Like it was a terrible outing. But usually,
Well,
usually with JV, you're going to give up 2 runs, couple, 2 3 runs, maybe a couple. Definitely at least one solo. Like that's just JV's mo, right?
yeah,
But the previous starts that JV had, he gave up 2 runs, went 6 innings, 7 innings. In Chicago he did it, and then we do nothing. So, I mean, look, dude, Ronell's been a lifesaver. I think he's just badass, dude. I like him. Like, I'm so glad that he has come out of freaking nowhere because he has won a quarter of the games that we have won as a team. Just one guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see guys, get a chance and definitely go above and beyond, of the opportunities. JV, I'm not worried
I'm
about,
not
man.
worried.
Every pitcher has a bad
Yep. Yeah.
outing, Um, now when they have bad outing after bad outing, a la Hunter
Yeah.
Brown,
See Hunter Brown.
then you start worrying about it. But yeah, man, not Hunter Brown. Blanco has been that guy that we look to, like we did JP France last year.
Yeah.
He's been that stop guy, stop the bleeding guy. It's just unfortunate this year that every time he comes in, he is to stop the gaping, massive gunshot wound,
Yeah. Yeah.
that we put ourselves in. I mean, if the offense can get their stuff together, I mean, we do look pretty ferocious. Like you got JV, Fromber hasn't pitched terribly. I mean, I still think his worst outing was at opening day, right? Where I think he walked like 4 and he was out like in the 4th inning or
Yeah.
something like that.
And that was after we were up four
Javier,
nothing.
yeah, Javier's looked good all season.
Yeah.
And then you have Blanco as your 4th starter. I mean, all of those guys right now that I can think of for the most part are all pitching like number 1, number 2 kind of
Mm-hmm.
guys, right? The fifth starter's the fifth starter, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, but the big problem is again, you know, can't hit with runners in scoring position. Bregman is becoming an automatic out, and I agree with you. The continuous swapping out of lineups.
Yeah.
Stick with a lineup that works. I mean, if we won a game yesterday with the lineup that we had, put it out
Run
there
them back,
again.
man.
See what happens. If they win, guess what? Put the same damn lineup out there,
Yeah.
right? If they lose, right, run it again.
Yeah.
You got to give it at least 5 or 6, games to see what you got. And if it's off and on, okay, well, where are we off and on?
Yeah.
And then you tweak it just a little bit, right? It reminds me of the games. It reminds me of Sunday games. Like your Sunday games, a 30-year lineup is like a bunch of bench
Yeah.
guys. And you're like, but it seems like he's kind of fallen into that Dusty mentality these last, couple of series where he's just tinkering with the lineup,
Yeah.
swapping these guys out. And it's just like, okay, there's maybe one position, maybe two that you can kind of tinker with. But again, Loperfido should be playing in left field every day,
Mm-hmm. I
right?
agree.
The guy you tinker with is Bregman,
Yeah.
And then you let it roll. But I mean, this team has what it takes to take this disastrous start and completely flip it.
Oh yeah. No,
But
1000%.
it again, it's just like, but something has to happen to change this culture right now that they're in. Whether it's signing a guy that everybody's super shocked that they signed, whether it's firing a hitting coach, there needs to be like a defibrillator to the system to just send a jolt. I mean, because we can't just keep going every single game, hoping and praying that we hit 5 solo home runs.
Right. And sometimes,
You
look,
know,
sometimes it looks like they don't even give a shit when on the field.
oh, I agree, totally
It
agree
looks
with
like
you.
they don't even care. And I think, at least from my perspective, and I know yours, like, aside from being pissed off from all the losing and the piss poor play, and like we're not accustomed to that in these last 8-9 years, when like we're pissed off because of the product in the field, but then you see the players that look like they don't even give two shits about it. It makes it even more frustrating. Like, somebody step the hell up.
Yeah,
Like in football, when like the defense is getting their ass handed to them, some guy on the defense pulls the entire defense to the sideline, and he's getting into their ass on the sideline. Like, somebody, and
yeah,
look, someone needs to do that in the clubhouse. Somebody that's been here for a minute, doesn't actually really doesn't even matter. Somebody right? And he's just getting everybody's ass like, hey, what the hell are we doing? I mean, like, look, Altuve, I understand he gets a long ass lease. We talked about it early in the season with all this base running errors. But yesterday's game, he struck out on a ball that started in the line of the left-hand batter's box and ended on the outside line. Like that was the second out. I think it was the second out of the inning or first out of the inning when we had. It doesn't matter. We had a runner on, but like he got out, Tucker struck out, and Jordan popped out. Like like I understand that Altuve is a free swinger. That's just what we get with him. That's what we love the guy for when it works. When we don't, we're like, come on, dude. Like, could you please take like one strike or swing at a strike?
Yeah.
But it's like when these guys are hitting without runners on, except for a couple of guys, like when most of the guys are hitting without runners on, they're free, they're loose, they're working their approach, they're looking for pitches. But when as soon as the runner's on, it's like, oh shit, what do I do? Like, can we just not get a ground ball to the right side so we can get an easy run? Anything like bunt the shit, do a safety squeeze,
Yeah.
something.
I'm telling you, the bunt. I mean, when you're struggling to get guys either over or in a better position as far as in scoring position, second to third, drop the bunt down.
So
I mean,
Dubon did
I
that,
would rather. Yeah, I saw.
or he
Yeah, he
tried to.
did
He
that.
tried to end up getting a swinging
Yeah,
bunt.
it turned into a swinging
Yeah,
bunt. But I mean, guys that are kind of struggling. Hey, Bregman, drop a bunt down.
yeah.
I know it goes against what you normally do, but I know that you would rather be doing something to help this team out instead of pop up to the fucking second baseman,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Or pop up to the shortstop. So drop a bunt down. You're going to get out anyway,
yeah.
right? At least move the runner from second to third
With less than
to
two
free
outs.
up
Yeah.
the possibility of a sac fly.
Mm-hmm.
Manufacture runs. That it's old school baseball, right?
Small ball, dude. It's been
Yeah,
working for as long as baseball's been around. Small ball works. It's just not sexy. That's what it is.
yeah, I agree. I mean, but when you're struggling, like they're struggling with runners in scoring position, small ball gets you every time. Start stealing more bases. Every single time there's a runner on first, steal. I'd rather you get thrown out 10 times
Mm-hmm.
than
Oh,
just sit there at first base. Well, maybe not 10 times,
I get
but
what you're saying.
at least making the effort for trying to get somebody in scoring
But
position.
make them make a play. Look at what happened this
Yeah,
series. David, his name not David Wells, whatever his last name is, the catcher. He threw in
yeah,
yesterday's game, threw two balls in the center field.
yeah,
Like he can't throw. He could not throw down there. And had Loperfido actually found the ball when he stole, he probably could have made it to third. But and now these were like not close throws from Wells down to second base. I mean, straight out to Judge in center field. Make
yeah.
make them make the play. It's make them make the play.
And that happened in the Mariners series
Yeah,
too. I think it
it was Pena
was
also.
it Pena? Yeah. Ball dude airmailed it like he was throwing pop flies at the center
Yeah,
fielder. Pena just
couldn't find the ball.
didn't pop up,
Yep.
couldn't find the ball, could have very easily made it to third,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then that run doesn't score, and guess what? We lose 5-4.
We didn't
So
even talk about the Mariner series. Thank.
I refuse
I,
to. That was atrocious. Put it this way: Mariner series, Astros went 2 for 12 runners in scoring position. The last two games of that series, I think they got a total of 7 men in scoring position. There's really nothing to talk about.
yeah,
They sucked ass.
yeah.
End of story.
But the thing is, they should have won 2 out of 3.
Yeah, very
They
easily.
should have taken two out of
Very,
three. It's
and
it's
that's going to go back to kill you. All these series you look back, 8 blown saves,
yeah.
bam. You're looking at a completely different mentality.
Oh, absolutely. We're not sitting here saying, "Hey,
So
we're almost 50 games in. What the hell are we going to do?" It's okay. We're getting close. We're getting close.
yeah, just gotta play 500 ball till the rotation gets healthy.
Except now you have to play 611 ball to get just to 80,
We might have to play 900 ball at
to
this
get to
point.
89 wins, which was like the sixth teams, the last year's sixth place teams win total was 89.
Yeah,
It's gonna be tough, dude. It's
yeah,
gonna be. I still got faith, even though I don't say it all the time. I still got faith, but goddamn, I mean, look, it was nice to get the win last night. Like, I'm so glad we did not get swept by the Yankees. We had lost like 8 straight to them. Was it 8 or 9?
yeah. It was 8 because it was the 4 game
Four, so
and
7,
then 7. Yeah,
right? something.
or six.
Yeah,
Six, yeah. So we're 1-6 against the Yankees. And again, you look at these next two series. I mean, it could the percentages of us going or what was it, 6-1, are the exact same percentages of us going 1-6.
yeah,
I mean, so at this point, there is no, hey guys, the light at the end of the tunnel. You have Detroit and Oakland coming.
yeah.
Take a deep breath. We're going to beat up on these teams. It's more like, well, we'll see what happens, and then
And
we'll be
it's
here to
look,
talk
it's
about it.
been a minute since we had to think like that, and it sucks.
Yeah,
It fucking sucks, dude. It's terrible.
yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah, it sucks, man. I mean, it does. I mean, it's not fun. It's not. I'm sure.
It's not.
I'm sure they know it's not fun,
It's
right?
not an
I mean,
ideal
but
way for me to spend my evenings being pissed off and then wanting to go and play Call of Duty to relieve some stress.
which that's not going to relieve stress at
No,
all.
it
That's just
actually
going to
doubles down.
compound the
It
stress.
just doubled down
Yeah.
on it. Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, all I can say is we'll see how this week, how these next two series goes, and I mean, it is what it is at this point. But hey, the Space Cowboys are in first place.
Hey, thank God for that.
They're killing it. I'll be at the game tonight, so I'm pretty excited
Oh,
about
sweet,
that.
sweet. What's the promotion?
Well, what makes you think I'll only go on promotions? It's messed up,
First of
man.
all, you
They're
you
giving
must be guilty. I was just asking what the promotion was.
they're giving away free tumblers.
Oh, what's up? We're gonna get two of them for me. One for me.
I'm gonna try
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
I'm gonna try to go in and then hop out and be like, hey,
Hey,
maybe I'll quickly shave my beard off and then come back
you can pull the
and get
old
the
Bobby Valentine and get the get the
there you go.
glasses with the nose and sneak back in.
Yeah.
Now,
See how
it'd
that
be
works.
really cool if you got me a tumbler. It'd be
I'll see what I can do.
pretty cool.
I'll see what I can do. Uh but yeah, man, anything else? I mean,
No, I think that's
I
it.
think I think we did a good job of not repeating the same stuff that
We've been repeating for the last month.
for a month now. No, man, it was just like I'm sitting here in the truck and I'm losing my mind in my truck.
Yeah,
And I'm just sitting here like, this is going to be a rant. It's going to go down. Parental advisory sticker.
yeah.
But then I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But then I was like, "Ugh, I'm going to go over all the people we could. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that either. So again, I'm going to wait this thing out. We haven't hit the iceberg
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, we're
I mean, we're
close.
close.
Very close.
We're close. We've picked it up on sonar,
Yeah.
but we'll see. Hopefully we'll have. I mean, it's ridiculous that this is episode 13, and outside of the spring training ones, we've had one happy,
I know.
one happy
I
episode.
know. I know. I'd like to not have
So
a pissy episode. That'll be a good one. Good happy
yeah,
one.
that'd be fantastic. So, well, yeah, man. I mean, I think that pretty much wraps us up for tonight. So again, thanks to everybody who's listened to us, who's following us, who's subscribed to us. Now you can see these Greek gods
That's right. That's right. Yes.
in the flesh. So again, continue to listen, continue to support us, continue to get the word out, and man,
Till next week.
until next time, guys, have a good
I'll
one.
talk to y'all later.